FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero? And they tried to kill the next president of the United States. Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
What are you gonna do when Trumpomania runs wild on you, brother? Well, if you're Joe Biden, I guess you quit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Thinking Logically. I'm your host, Joseph Anthony Corsai. Ryan, does it feel like an election year yet?
Oh, Joe, what? 2 weeks ago I said, I can't, it doesn't even feel like an election year. What's going on? I can't even believe what's happening right now.
One debate, and Donald Trump debated so well that Joe Biden had to drop out as the nominee. Mark, we hate to say I told you so, but, well, we told you so, didn't we?
Oh, Joe,
Ryan, ring the bell, by the way. Ring the bell, Ryan. There we go.
I think back to our opening podcast of, I think, the year. And I remember talking to you about this, we actually verbally said this. 2024 is going to be insane. Can the news cycle please slow down a little bit? I mean, holy crap. Donald Trump has officially taken out the Clintons, the Bushes, the Bidens. He's on a roll. But now he gets to take out Kamala. So we shall see what happens. It's gonna get super spicy from here on out.
It is. It hasn't even started yet. You can make the argument it hasn't even started yet. Okay, we had quite a lot of development since our last show. Let's start with Thursday's RNC convention, where some questions remain. First, will Hulk Hogan now shock the world sometime before the election by turning heel and joining the NWO? on a more serious note, Democrats don't currently have a presidential candidate. Their convention is in a month, and the RNC convention that wrapped up Thursday was electric. You heard from Tucker Carlson. You heard from Dana White. Who are the Democrats gonna have speak? What is their message going to be? If they want to try to top Hogan, I know one person that could give a speech that fits the Democrat agenda in 2024 perfectly. Goldust might actually be there. Audience, who's the guy that looks and acts like Goldust without the makeup? I think he was Undersecretary of Nuclear Waste. The same guy that got fired for stealing women's luggage at airports and then wearing their clothes. Sounds kind of like a Goldust wrestling angle. Maybe he can feud with Dr. Rachel Levin and build a nice storyline going into Halloween Havoc. Loser has to change their gender back. All right, imagine the things that are going to get pulled from to the ring in that one. Anyway, Mark, Trump was shot in the face 5 days before his speech at the RNC convention, and the media complained he went on for too long. We're so back. We are so back, are we not?
I heard the comment that he looked feeble or weak or something like that. He looked tired. I don't know. There was definitely a different air about him at the convention. And I did think his speech went on a little long. I mean, I think it finished like around a little after midnight East Coast time. But the first half hour was pretty great. I mean, he definitely had a different tone to him. Dana White's intro was so electric. Dana White flew from a yacht in Italy to Milwaukee for like 6 hours and then headed back to his yacht in Italy that he's on vacation. But his intro was off the charts. Trump's the first half hour, which was probably the part mostly everyone watched. He preached unity. He preached togetherness. I thought it was a good speech. I just thought it went on a little bit long. But the RNC in general, I thought, was fantastic. There were so many good speakers. I'm just glad we got guys like J.D. Vance, Vivek, that are on our team. You know, the Ben Carsons of the world. But I think by and large, the whole RNC was a total success. And now we're seeing that, you know, come to fruition in the polls right now. You know, if you look at some of the general election polls that are showing Trump versus Kamala, or is it Kamala? I think Morning Joe said if you mispronounce her word, it's like racist or something like that. She is up, or I'm sorry, Trump is up anywhere from 7 to 9 points nationally, 6 to 8 points, I think it actually is, over Kamala nationally right now, and leading Kamala in almost every swing state. So, but don't underestimate the Democratic Party. Like Vivek said, we are not running against a candidate. We are running against a machine. Joe.
Good point. What made me sick was the social media. So Trump brought the fireman uniform out for Corey Compratore. Is it Compratore? Comparatore.
Yeah.
Of course, he's Italian. Rest in peace. But he brought the firefighter, and clearly there was an A missing from the firefighter uniform, and all of Twitter got on like it was Donald Trump's fault or the Republicans' fault that it was misspelled, when if you know anything at all about emergency services, bunker gear, stuff like that, you can only fit so many letters, and they can't be shrunken down for emergency services. There's rules. So it wasn't missing an A, it was just the A was removed, and that was the big thing on social media, how they spelled his name wrong. And instead of just doing a little bit of research, they just went with that. The media went with that, and they paused about halfway through because they must have realized this is EMS gear, this is called bunker gear, this is what it's like, and it was his uniform, and it was never spelled with an A. So again, point debunked. Also, Hulk Hogan, again, on fire. How do you top that? Again, no idea. What are the Democrats going to do? Trot Michelle Obama out there dressed like Hulk Hogan so it looks like the movie Idiocracy coming to life? I don't know what they would do. I don't know how they top that moment. It doesn't make any sense. But moving on from the convention, let's talk about what happened yesterday. So apparently, and I say apparently because we don't know, Biden decided not to accept the nomination for the Democrat ticket. We haven't seen the president since Wednesday in Nevada, where he shuffled his way up the short stairway back to Air Force One. And got to admit, he looks like a baby giraffe trying to take its first steps when he walks anywhere to begin with. So I guess no one really noticed or cared. But you know who probably did? Our enemies. Imagine what Russia is talking about. Imagine if Putin did something like this, got sick, vanished, and then resigned via a statement on his social media account. How would our media report on that situation? Especially after an assassination attempt on a political rival the week before. It only took 8 days for that failed assassination attempt to get Joe Biden to drop out. I wonder if these two things are related. Maybe this was the plan all along. Like, I don't know, since the last election? Remember what Biden said then. Ryan, play that audio, please.
But, and I told Barack, if I reach something where there's a fundamental disagreement we have based on a moral principle, I'll develop some disease and say I have to resign.
What? Anyway, Kamala gets all the money for now. But what happens when there's a black swan event and she decides to focus on being president of the United States for the betterment of the country and not run? She'd be viewed as a hero. And that narrative's already set to go. Like I said, Black Cincinnatus. I think we used the term Black Cincinnatus on this show before. But let's put our focus back on Joe Biden for just 1 minute. Is he even still alive? We're going to get to this later in the episode, but I got to just... This is from Frank Biden told CBS that his brother's health, quote, in my humble opinion, absolutely contributed to his decision to bow out. And then later, Biden family sources said, quote, Frank Biden suffers from alcoholism and hasn't spoken to his brother in weeks. What he said is completely untrue. Yikes, they could have just said he was wrong. Friendly reminder that Frank Biden is under federal investigation for a money laundering scheme that may involve his brother Joe, a.k.a. the big guy. So just to tie a bow on this, Frank Biden is now an alcoholic, apparently. Hunter's everything, I guess, but we'll call him a crack addict. Haley Biden is a crack addict. And remember, that's thanks to Hunter Biden. That came out in the trial. Hunter Biden got her addicted to crack. And Ashley Biden is an alcoholic who may have been, I don't know, there's a diary, showers, whatever. Mark, everything they told us about the Trump family seems to be true about the Biden family. Is this not truly amazing? I want to kind of focus on Kamala, but wow, did things just do a total 180 in 10 days?
It goes back to what you've been saying, Joe. Everything they accuse the Republican Party of doing, that's what they do. My daughter's saying hello.
Hi.
But I mean, is Biden alive? I mean, Joe, I have so many questions about this official declaration, I guess if you want to call it. It's not a resignation, but he posted it on X. Now they're questioning, did he even sign it? He never underlines his name. The signature doesn't really match past signatures of his. It's not on. Where was the presidential seal? Did he even know that they even posted that to X? I read the article from Politico this morning, and it just, and I sent you a snippet of it, and I want to read that right now, talking about the power Nancy Pelosi has. This is from Politico. Nancy made clear that they could do this the easy way or the hard way, said one Democrat familiar with private conversations who was granted anonymity to speak candidly. She gave them 3 weeks of the easy way. It was about to be the hard way. So this just...
Is the hard way death?
Pelosi's fingerprints all over it in Obama. What's that?
Is the hard way death?
That's a good question. We just talked before the show, and you told me that his doctor just made a statement. We talked about is he even alive? Make an appearance, something. Post a video. Show us that you're alive, Joe. 10th dose of Paxlovid, Joe. 10 doses.
Double digits. They're trying to kill him.
Oh my gosh, they're going to OD him on Paxlovid.
Oh, he's going to come out of the White House looking like a mutant. Well, he's in Delaware actually, where there's no visitor logs, but he's going to come out of his Delaware beach home looking like a mutant.
He's got to hang on another month because I'm going to be down there next month. So just hang on a few more weeks, Joe. I'm coming. But since we're on the topic, Joe, who's your vice presidential pick?
For J.D. Vance, man.
For Kamala.
Why can't it be Joe Biden? Why can't it be Joe Biden? He's served under a black person of color before. He said that this is going to be my replacement. Why can't he be the vice president now? Why can't they just swap him out? I don't know who it's going to be. It's not going to be Kamala, and we'll get to this later in the episode. Can Kamala even be the president? Isn't she an anchor baby? She was born in Canada.
Joe, well, let's think about this, Joe. Let's think about this. You're adamant that she is not going to be the candidate, and I'm adamant that she is. She already has all these pledged delegates, so all you really need to do is get to the convention now in 3 weeks. Once she becomes the nominee now, Joe, and I'll say there's a black swan event that occurs after the convention, after she's been nominated. I don't think you could just come off the ballot in these states. Early voting happens sometime in September in a lot of states, Joe. I don't know how this is going to play out the way you think it is.
Okay, the Black Swan event might actually be Kamala speaking and talking in public. People forget what she's like. She never got a vote in the primary ever because she's never made it that far. She's never polled around over 0.5%. I don't think she came in 30th place in Iowa in 2020. She can't. She's not ready. She can't do it. Imagine a team drafting a quarterback that never took a snap in a college football game. She's not ready. It's not going to work. It's going to be a disaster. And they know this. She's just a placeholder. I told you she's going to resign and be probably the president because Joe Biden's going to resign probably by the end of September for sure. He's not going to last too long. And she's for the Black Cincinnati. She'll be. Watch. They'll pick 2 new candidates. If you're a Democrat, you don't get to pick. They pick for you. Isn't it amazing?
So much for defending democracy. They pretty much staged a coup, if you think about it. I don't know what else to call it.
They did.
I mean,
he was asleep and he was
also called an insurrection.
He was incapacitated.
With the government.
Incapacitated in his bed like Joseph Stalin was. Who knows what he suffered? Could have been sitting in his own urine like Joseph Stalin was. And they just signed a paper. Where'd it come from? He was in Delaware. Did it come from the White House? I mean, we don't know. Just expect to be disappointed by Kamala. That's all I could say for sure. So
she is after Biden though. She is the number one person I would want running against Trump as a Trump supporter. But this is far from over, guys. I wish we could sit here and say we're going to win this. This is a home run. It's not going to be close, but it's not going to work out like that. So
Don't lose sight of Hillary Clinton and Michelle Obama. And I did read some genius, some scholar penned an article about how Obama can actually be the VP because he technically wouldn't be elected to the role of vice president or president. Then they could get rid of Kamala, slide. There's so many things. You could have someone leave the Supreme Court. Maybe Kamala's promised the Supreme Court position. That's why she doesn't run. There's going to be promises and backdoor deals made. This next few weeks are going to be rather interesting, I think. Jimmy Carter. Don't forget about Jimmy Carter still sitting around.
Hunter and Jill, though, Joe.
Well, Jimmy Carter is still 4 years of eligibility left. Also, you said Hunter and Jill. I want to be a fly on the wall on Thanksgiving dinner. That's all. If Joe Biden even survives that long, which he probably won't. I'm not being rude.
He dropped his lawsuit against Fox.
Did he? I wonder why. All right. Like I said, we don't know where Joe Biden is. Jimmy Carter, like I said, still 4 years of eligibility left. Why not him? Anyway, Biden not going to be the nominee. How can he be the president if he's not the nominee? I don't know, but that's what it is. We got to take a break. When we return, we're going to cover the pointless Secret Service hearing that happened today. And also, where's Joe Biden? Like we said, back in the basement of his Delaware home. This is like a sequel to 2020. This summer, Joe Biden has gone back to the basement. Stay tuned. You're listening to Thinking Logically on 99.3 FM WBVP. Cash for your house. PGHbuyers.com. If you have an unwanted house but don't want the hassle of selling, visit PGHbuyers.com to see if PGHbuyers.com can help. No inspections and a fair cash offer. Visit PGHbuyers.com to sell that unwanted property for a fair price today. You know, when Joe Biden shuffles in front of the cameras to answer scripted questions during the day, he lies like Don King. But what you don't know is, when he goes to sleep at night, he lies like an Egyptian king because he uses MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, its long staple cotton makes it ultra soft and breathable. Use the promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings on this amazing product. It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Galla with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Galla of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond. It's Joe again from Thinking Logically, here to tell you about one of my favorite clothing items, the MyPillow hoodie. Two things I love the most about this hoodie are how it fits and how it feels. This hoodie is extremely roomy, and its terry cloth material makes it lighter than any other hoodie I own. Use promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings. The MyPillow hoodie. Get yours today.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP. Brought to you by So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing. Whether you need your house washed, your driveway clean, patio done, fences, gutters, you name it. Call Dave from So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing at 724-252-4489. That's 724-252-4489. They're fully insured and offer free estimates. So what are you waiting for? Don't be the outcast in your neighborhood with a dirty house or deck. Call So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing today. All right, Mark, Secret Service hearing with Director Cheadle was today, and we learned absolutely nothing new. For the Dems, Jamie Raskins and a few other, it was all about gun control. And you know what? We told you 2 weeks ago, we told you, it might take a week or so, but they will blame this on guns and AR-15s and weapons of war. Mark, I don't know if you watched it or not. How many shell casings were there? Was he acting alone? Was the roof to blame? What did we learn?
I watched a lot of that hearing today, Joe, and I will tell you that was disgraceful. She was getting grilled, and rightfully so. We learned almost nothing from this hearing. It was frustrating watching it. I'm not sure if you caught any of it or not.
I did.
Oh, man.
I was very angered, especially if you pay taxes to these people.
Yeah, it's amazing that she has not resigned. She has not been fired. No one is held accountable for anything. Someone asked the question today. Even AOC asked a great question, about securing the perimeter from an AR-15 which has a range of 400 to 600 yards. How is in the perimeter, Secret Service perimeter, only go out like 100 yards? So, but someone else asked the question, and it was funny because I was thinking I would ask this question if I was sitting there. Would you resign if President Trump was killed? So I'm not even sure what she answered, to be honest with you, at that point. But we didn't really learn a lot. There was one thing though that came out today, Joe, about. Did you see this about? They were able to connect a phone. This is from the Oversight Project. Someone who regularly visited Crook's home and work also visited a building in Washington, D.C. located in Gallery Place. This is in the same vicinity of an FBI office on June 26, 2023. Whose device is this, Joe? We think this is misinformation or disinformation or what?
Well, did I hear you correctly? So that didn't come from Director Cheadle? That came from a random person. Well, if it is true, what does that say about the investigation going on? Because lots of other things that are proven to be false that we learned, not from random people on social media, but from Director Cheadle, like a sloped roof was the reason no one could be on there, were found out to be false or just flat out ridiculous. So honestly, I don't necessarily know if I believe what this person's putting on the internet, and it's from more than one source, but it should be looked into. Because we don't know anything. We don't know how many. We don't know how many spent shell casings were on the roof. How we don't know. I don't know. She kept on deflecting to the FBI every time, blaming the FBI. Well, Chris Wray's going to testify on Wednesday. What's he going to do? Blame it back to her? She wouldn't even give names of FBI agents to contact. What else didn't we learn? If at any point the Secret Service had an agent on the roof, that didn't know. They're still looking into that, according to Cheadle.
Well, this came out today too, Joe, that there was a third shooter. However, it was another sniper that I think it was more on with the local law enforcement than Secret Service. Their shot missed when they went to shoot at Crooks, the shooter. And apparently the Secret Service shot was like, this is according to Dan Bongino now, was like a 1 in a million shot, because the roof of the building that he was on was like almost obscuring his body. So they basically had like the scope of the gun and his like forehead in their scope, and that's the shot they took. So luckily, or else, I mean, there would have been carnage, more carnage.
Yes, there would have been. And like I said, we don't know if he was acting alone. Andy Biggs asked, Cheadle said, again, I would have to defer you to the FBI investigation. Okay, fine, whatever. And it came out, there was never even a single second or a moment when the Secret Service considered pausing the rally. They knew there was not a shooter. They knew there was something going on for an hour. And they never thought to pause the rally. They never thought to get Trump off stage. Nothing. Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? This is the Secret Service. Also, who cleaned the roof? Who asked that? Someone in the Oversight Committee asked if anyone has cleaned the roof where the shooter was shot. And Cheadle said, she doesn't have an answer to that. How do you not have an answer? I've seen the video, the picture of the guy spraying off the roof with the big FBI. Unless it's female body inspector. I don't know who else it could be.
Right. It was stunning, her lack of answers to anything today. Nancy Mace laid into her. Marjorie Taylor Greene laid into her. Even some of the Democrats kind of went at her a little bit.
You know what? I don't know how much of that's theater, because again, a lot of them were blaming the guns. But I was proud to see a little bit of bipartisanship going after her. They want her to resign. She's going to fall on the sword. That's going to be it. And then Biden's gone. This whole thing just disappeared. We had a person, a presidential nominee, a former president, shot in the face, almost blew his head off, and it's out of the news cycle already. It's gone. Why? Because all of a sudden, Joe Biden's mysteriously ill and frail and can't perform his duties as president possibly, and definitely can't do another 4 years. Like, we haven't known that for 4 years. It's just, it makes me sick. Why would you listen to our media? Why would you ever turn into MSNBC, CNN, even Fox News that called the election at 8 p.m. last 4 years ago? Why would you ever listen to these people? Marjorie Taylor Greene asked Cheadle for the timeline. She says, I have a timeline, but it doesn't have specifics. Well, it's not a timeline then. What is that? What do you mean? What are you talking about? You don't have a... Who's the mysterious man in the suit? We didn't learn who that was. There supposedly was it DEA or ATF? I think it was ATF.
This was from Ron Johnson, a U.S. Senator made this statement. This isn't coming from a fringe media source. This is from a U.S. Senator. This guy was in a gray suit. He was asking, was it local law enforcement or the Secret Service, to send him pictures of the deceased shooter's body. They assumed he was with the Secret Service, and apparently he wasn't. He was with the ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Joe, what is up with that?
That makes no sense at all. I mean, what do they? This is like the JFK. What do they say next? He was carrying an umbrella man over here on top of the roof, taking pictures of the guy. I don't know. It's completely ridiculous. And Darren J. Beatty said it perfectly. The arrogance itself is incredible, he says. For whatever reason, she knows she's protected. He's talking about Cheadle. Why wouldn't she be the sacrificial lamb and fired? Biden/Kamala would get major political points for firing Cheadle in a gesture that transcends partisanship. So why isn't she gone yet? Why isn't she fired? It's great brownie points for Kamala in her first week as the nominee. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Mark, tell us a little bit about the overseas bank accounts. No, we can't.
This dude had a handler, Joe.
Yes.
This guy had a handler. If you were listening to us right now, you have to understand there is no way that this 20-year-old kid could have pulled something like this off by himself. He had a handler. I don't know if we'll ever get to the bottom of that. I don't know if we'll ever hear the full story.
This 120-pound
I don't know.
bookworm.
I've heard something about that, but I'm not sure how detailed.
Well, if he had overseas bank, I thought he was a lone wolf. What's he have overseas bank accounts for if you're a lone wolf? Just like the Las Vegas shooter had overseas bank accounts. What could it be? I don't know. We'll have to trust the FBI, I guess, that runs the investigation. Anyway, Secret Service Director Cheadle admits that she uses, on occasion, encrypted apps to communicate with government colleagues using government devices. What? Isn't it supposed to be subject to Freedom of Information Act rules? Can we get it if it's on an encrypted app? I don't know, maybe. But how do you get away with this? How do you get away with this? Does anyone even care? If you care, call in, please. The number is 724-843-1888. Maybe I'm just screaming at the clouds here. I don't know. But did you see Sheila Jackson Lee also died?
Yeah. Suddenly. I don't think she was sick. She just died suddenly.
Yeah. And then Kyle Becker points this out on X. Director Kim Cheadle confirmed, and she did, this is her opening statement, that the fierce Trump critic Sheila Jackson Lee was heavily involved in the oversight of the Secret Service. And then Sheila Jackson died on Friday. Mark, mysterious, isn't it? All these mysteries.
Joe, I'm gonna venture off into conspiracy land here, but we've seen enough of these things on TV, and we kind of have a little bit of an understanding how these things work in real life. A little bit. What if, Joe? And we haven't talked about this. What if Sheila Jackson was part of some plot to assassinate President Trump? And they had to cover up a loose end.
That would make a lot of sense if you've seen movies like Goodfellas and Casino, but you never think this happens in politics until you realize, like the old intro was when we first started this show on the radio, these people are nothing more than gangsters. They're worse, actually. They're worse. They are absolutely
You're dealing
worse.
with pure evil.
Yeah, pure evil is a good way to put it.
We can't fathom how evil some of these people are at the top of our government.
If you're just tuning in or waking up for a coma, on July 13th, Trump was nearly assassinated after a Secret Service rolled out the red carpet for a 20-year-old shooter. And then on July 19th, Sheila Jackson died. And she was also engaged in oversight for the Secret Service. I think we have a caller. Hold on, we'll patch him through.
What did she know?
Who we got here?
We got Dawn.
Oh, Dawn. Dawn's back.
How you doing?
I'm great. I'm just peachy.
Hey, I think you guys need to think about what can be unburdened by what has been.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and I think so has Kamala Harris. People don't realize, are you going to be able to handle Kamala? Kamala. I'm sorry. Don't call me a racist.
Actually, oh dear Lord, I don't know how. What is that old saying? You have to laugh so you don't cry. I think I'm going to wake up someday, and I'm going to find out that Barry Goldwater won in 1964. And that everything is just fine, and this was just a bad dream. And I'm going to wander into the kitchen in my pajamas and get a glass of iced tea, and everything's going to be just fine. Can we handle 4 years of her? I mean, my biggest fear, and I'm not joking about this, is, well, let's say China would attack Taiwan, and they ask her about it, and she starts to laugh, or a terrorist attack, and she starts to cackle and laugh. This can't be real, can it?
No, it's real. It's happening. Pinch yourself because it's happening. The thing with Joe Biden is at least he was funny. There's nothing funny about Kamala. It's just like that annoying girl that won't leave you alone, right? Right? I mean,
it really is. It really is. I don't understand. You know what? When I was a little boy, we went to California. I remember listening to Bobby Kennedy after hearing he was assassinated. I believe that was Sirhan. Now, I was 9 years old. When we got to California, we're visiting with relatives. We're going to the beach every day. Somebody said he was a lone nut. And I remember my father saying, it's always a lone nut, isn't it? There are no lone nuts. There's nobody that – this kid did not pull this off. And it doesn't look like the Department of Injustice or Christopher Wray's FBI or anyone's going to talk turkey with us. I guess you could think of it like a cartoon. You know, Trump can campaign with bullets skipping off the ground in front of him. I know that they like to talk about debates. I'll debate Kamala. I will walk up there in a pair of pajamas with an hour's sleep after drinking a bunch of beer. Is this woman smart enough to be anything?
No, but maybe they're depending on the debates not getting good ratings and no one watching it, because who could put up with her talking for that? I'm not joking around. People forget. There's a reason you haven't seen her in 4 years. There's a reason she's been hidden, because she's annoying. It's not going to work. Wait till they get a poll or two on the black vote back and they say, oh no, change it again. Kill her next.
Oh, my goodness. Who's going to be her VP, though?
I don't think she's going to be the nominee, but I don't know. I guess it's got to be a woman. Maybe they'll put a white man in there. They're kind of in the box because they play these games with gender and race. I don't know.
Well, mainstream media
I was listening to Sebastian Gorka because I'm hooked on this stuff now. I believe the number they gave was 14109. Something in violation of the Hatch Act. This can't be true. That people in federal uniforms are not allowed to register people to vote, and they're registering illegals when they sign up for welfare and Medicaid. Listen, if an illegal breaks an ankle, fix their ankle. Absolutely. I don't think anyone should be homeless or hungry. How are illegals signing up for benefits? I've got a million questions that Kamala can't answer.
She'll laugh at that.
Are we going to win November 5th? What's your gut feeling?
I think they're going to delay the election because they are in total panic mode. Everyone says a grand master plan the Democrats have. I just think they might be mentally retarded, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. That could be it. I don't know if they have a plan. Don't think they won't do this, like with CrowdStrike, a cyber attack, and delay the election, even if it's for a few weeks. We have to win. There's no way. The cheating's going to be too big. It depends on who the nominee is, and we don't even know who the nominee is. So we're at kind of a disadvantage, but we will win this November. That's my prediction. Or December or January, but we will win.
And as Mark said earlier, she was born in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that an issue?
Yeah. But hey, we're bringing the illegals in. Why not make them president?
Let's investigate the Canadian public school system then.
Don, thanks so much for your call.
Thank
you. I like how Don always lets us go. All right. Speaking of women and stuff, Mayorkas came out the week before all this happened with the hearing last week and said, quote, "In the days following the attempted assassination of former Trump, some people have made public statements questioning the presence of women in law enforcement, including the United States Secret Service. And my only response is, why is he focused on women? There was an assassination attempt on the former president and nominee. Get to work." Keep in mind.
So this is breaking news.
Good.
This is from Josh Hawley 12 minutes ago. Whistleblowers tell me enforcement personnel were in fact stationed to the roof the day of the Trump rally, but abandoned it, citing the heat. They also say law enforcement were supposed to be patrolling the building, but opted to stay inside instead. So it was too hot
That's amazing.
for law enforcement to be on the roof, yeah.
They don't even care. They can't find this guy. The FBI isn't even looking for any reasons. Meanwhile, if you remember a year or so ago, the Department of Justice or FBI, I can't remember who it was, doesn't matter, one's underneath the arm of the other, killed a man in his home, I think it was Utah, at 5 a.m. because he made threats to Joe Biden online. I think he said he had a dream that he killed Joe Biden. And then ahead of Joe Biden's visit to the state, he was killed in his home at 5 a.m. And I think he had a son that was deaf and everything, and that was no issue. That went right out of the news cycle. We actually had an assassination attempt on a former president and current nominee. Nothing from the FBI. Nothing. More questions than answers 2 weeks later. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Trump's ear update and the conspiracy theories surrounding it. Stay tuned. You're listening to Thinking Logic on 99.3 FM WBVP. Cash for your house. PGHbuyers.com. If you have an unwanted house but don't want the hassle of selling, visit PGHbuyers.com to see if PGHbuyers.com can help. No inspections and a fair cash offer. Visit PGHbuyers.com to sell that unwanted property for a fair price today. It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Galla with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Galla of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond. You know, when Joe Biden shuffles in front of the cameras to answer scripted questions during the day, he lies like Don King. But what you don't know is, when he goes to sleep at night, he lies like an Egyptian king because he uses MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, its long staple cotton makes it ultra soft and breathable. Use the promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings on this amazing product. Hey guys, it's Joe from Thinking Logically here to tell you about a company I've been using since I got my learner's permit. Grossi & Associates. Using their state-of-the-art equipment, Grossi & Associates offers collision repair for all makes and models, both foreign and domestic. There's a reason why they are voted Best of the Valley year in and year out. They are the collision experts. Grossi & Associates. Call today for a free estimate.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA. Welcome back to Thinking Logic on 99.3 FM WBVP. The question of the day is, who's going to be Kamala's VP? Wrong answers only, please. The number to call in is 724-843-1888. Again, 724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888. Again, 724-774-1. And then J.D. Pritzker's weight, 888-888. Okay, Mark, we got an update on Trump's ear. So, his former physician, Ronnie Jackson, said that he sustained a gunshot wound to the ear. It's less than a quarter of an inch from his head. The bullet produced a 2-centimeter wound. It extends onto cartilaginous surface. There's still intermittent bleeding, but the wound is healing properly. Okay, I hope that puts to bed that, the conspiracy theories. Remember, we don't want anyone to get sued like Alex Jones. But for one crazy person, he's still out there, and that's Keith Olbermann. And this is a tweet from him on X. A reminder that there is still no evidence Trump was hit by a bullet, and still lots of evidence he's lying about it. And this was
last night. 10 o'clock at night last night, he tweeted that out. Now, do you really think that Trump would take a chance like that? Have a kid shooting his ear off from 200 yards out? It's not exactly like shooting an apple off someone's head with a bow and arrow. It doesn't make any sense. But to wrap this all up, I don't know. What happens when they release these JFK files if Trump gets elected? And we learned that our government killed a sitting president in the 60s. And then learn the people responsible for the investigation were actually in on it. History repeats itself in strange ways. Where is the media? They demanded medical records from the guy who was shot on national television, but are completely uninterested in why the president hasn't been seen since last weekend and just dropped out of the race via social media. Mark, he quit on National Ice Cream Day. What are the odds?
Joe, Donald Trump is supposed to be dead. I think we can all agree. The plan didn't go like it was supposed to go. When I tell you things are, and I know you agree, and Ryan does too, but for our listeners, things are going to accelerate at a rate now. From now until the election, things are going to happen. It's going to be crazy. We are living through since the assassination attempt, probably the craziest 8 days in American politics, and who knows how long, since the 60s maybe. I mean, what we're seeing is kind of unprecedented. So I just want to know if Biden's still alive.
We don't know. It is kind of strange, right? I mean, did Melania disappear for like 2 days and the media was going, this is the first lady 6 years ago. And the media was up in a roar over it. Where's Melania? Where's Melania? Is she sick? I mean, President Trump gets COVID. Granted, that was in the height of the coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, scandemic. And again, he takes his limousine out to wave at supporters, and they get on him for that. They don't care. Where's the media knocking on Joe Biden's Delaware house saying, where's the president? This is from Charlie Kirk. I think you might have sent this to me, Mark. I'm not sure. Charlie Kirk says, I got a weird lead on a story that people should look into. I got a call from a source close to Las Vegas Metro. The official story was that Joe Biden's trip was cut short last week due to COVID. However, according to this source, U.S. Secret Service informed Las Vegas Metro that there was an emergency situation involving Joe Biden and to close necessary streets so that the POTUS could be transported immediately to the University Medical, which they began to do in earnest. Then, mysteriously, there was a stand-down order, and the United States Secret Service informed the local Vegas PD that they were going to medevac POTUS to Johns Hopkins, which they presume meant fly him back east ASAP. Apparently, the rumor mill in the police department was that Joe Biden was dying or possibly already dead. I didn't think too much about this lead, seemed too wild to be true, but given that Joe Biden has been out of the public sight for days and dropped out of the race via an X post, and his brother James indicated his health was a factor, I'm beginning to grow more curious if COVID or something else has been more serious than reported. And remember the medical emergency before the debate that came out, like all of a sudden, like Joe Biden could have a medical emergency at the debate? That was strange, Mark. And now we have some answers to that, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, something apparently happened. Who knows what? Maybe it was related to the COVID he had, but this is a man who's not well, and I feel like he is. What's the word I'm looking for? Descending. I don't know. Getting worse at a much rapid rate than we're led to believe.
But he could be doing cartwheels on the beach. We don't know. We can't see him. This is from Stephen Miller on X. The only questions the media should be asking Harris right now: where is Joe Biden and when did he appear on camera? And when is he appearing on camera? I'm sorry. Who is running the country right now? Why was Joe Biden removed? And after saying he would never leave. If Joe Biden was removed due to mental impairment, how can he run the country? How long has Harris and the White House covered up this mental condition? And if Joe Biden was not removed due to mental impairment, then how is this not a coup? I don't know. How is it not a coup? It's a bloodless coup. And wasn't the word coup in the news cycle like a couple months ago when we first started the show on radio?
Yeah. They're supposed to be the defenders of democracy, Joe.
This guy put out a tweet, Biden's account, POTUS account. This is at noon. We are the United States of America. There's nothing we can't do if we do it together. We just have to remember who we are. I've dedicated my presidency to proving that, and I'll continue to do so today, tomorrow, and every day that I have the honor of being your president. Okay, who wrote that? Question, who wrote that?
Joe, if he got 81 million votes, I sent you this earlier, where's all the outcry?
Right here.
More votes than anyone.
Come on, Scranton Joe. You're tough. Get up and fight, Scranton Joe. Get up and fight back against these people. He's supposed to be the guy for the little guy. I mean, I don't know. From DC Drano, Demi-elites want Biden out. Biden family wanted him in. So they waited until Biden was incapacitated with COVID and out of the Oval, sent a tweet he dropped out, filed all the paperwork for Kamala. Oh, I got to get used to that. Got the media behind it, and now Biden can't unring the bell. It's called a coup. And I don't know if that's exactly how it played, but Mark, did you see about Benjamin Netanyahu?
Yeah, so Benjamin Netanyahu is, I guess he's like literally like en route to the United States right now. He was supposed to meet with Biden. Apparently he's recovered from COVID, so why isn't he meeting with Biden anymore? Anyways, Kamala Harris says, I'm not going to meet with Netanyahu. Okay. So now Netanyahu, apparently he's addressing Congress, I believe, or maybe the Senate. But apparently now he wants to meet with Trump.
Interesting.
See if Trump meets with him.
Interesting. If he does, the media is going to have something to say about it. But again, he's there. He's not going to turn the plane around, is he? He's coming here. He's coming here. He's going to meet with someone. Might as well be the guy that's probably going to be the next president of the United States. Only question is Trump going to be the 47th or the 48th president of the United States at this point? Maybe even 49th. It could be 50th. Who knows?
Oh, I didn't even think about 48. That's an interesting thought there, Joe.
It would have to be. I think they're going to put Kamala in as the placeholder. I'm telling you, she's going to pull terrible. She's going to pull so bad.
She's already polling terrible.
But
what are they going to do? Like you said, what are they going to do, Joe, when the polling doesn't get any better for her? And these swing states are outside of the margin of error.
There's going to be an event.
I'm telling you right now. Go ahead.
No, there's going to be an event, and that'll be the reason I'm telling you, the narrative is already there. Black Cincinnatus. She's going to say, I'm going to focus on being president, and someone else is going to run. And that's how they sneak in Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, you name it. I don't know who's going to be the front runner behind whatever, but one of those two will be up there. Guaranteed. Yeah. There's a reason a chef was killed that knew too much at Obama's residence.
Well, just talking about this election here, thinking out loud, I think the Democrats were caught off guard in 2016 in regards to Hillary and things like that. I think the Republicans were caught off guard in 20 as to the mail-in voting and the ballot harvesting. And now with this coming up, if the polling just holds like it is right now, or like it's probably going to be in the next couple of months, I mean, there's no way. The Republicans have to be on high alert for all of this cheating in mail-in vote fraud that's going to happen. I don't know how the Democrats, how the machine's going to pull this off and cheat to beat Trump with the Republicans, I think, on high alert. But we'll see.
Can we take a vote right now? If Biden is dead or dies this week, okay, just yes or no. Was he taken out? Mark, yes or no? If it comes out, do you believe he was taken out if it comes out this week that he's dead or dies or something? Was he taken out?
Yes.
I believe so. Right.
Absolutely. Like we'd said the other day, you believe in coincidences, but there is so many coincidences right now in one concentrated area that you can't possibly believe that all this stuff is going the way that the narrative is being explained to us.
I may have to. Do you have any tinfoil in your drawer? I may have to make a hat during the next break and put the tinfoil hat on because it is just too crazy. All these people that know so much about politics get paid 6-7 digits a year, get it wrong, and the random people on the internet who are conspiracy theorists and supposedly wrong about everything since 2020 are getting it right. In closing, this is just weird to me. It's so weird. Why does the media not care at all about this? 0% care. They're trying to gaslight us.
Aren't they all owned by BlackRock?
Yeah, good point. Good point. But do you see though how Biden needed to get out of the race? He wasn't fit. Now Biden's out of the race. He's not the nominee, but he's still the president. Media, crickets. Just complete crickets. They don't care anymore because they don't care about the country. They don't care if they just care about winning and getting Donald Trump. Donald Trump cannot win because he may hold them accountable. Mark, it's coming up here on X that Biden's COVID symptoms have almost resolved completely according to his doctor, Kevin O'Connell. And he continues to perform all of his presidential duties. I don't know what that is. Would be nice if he made a speech or something, held up a sign saying the date is so-and-so. I don't know. That's where we're at now. His physician's doubling down. He's fine. He's healthy. Meanwhile, Real America's Voice is reporting that Biden's gravely ill, and the FAA issued a no-fly zone over Delaware except for VIPs only. Emergency meeting with the White House staffers is being conducted soon. I don't know. It's all coming from the doctor, coming from Real America's Voice. You decide who to believe. We have to take a break, but when we return, we're going to cover that CrowdStrike glitch, I guess we'll call it. Is this a preview of what's going to happen in the 2024 election with our voting machines that seem to work so well? Stay tuned. We'll talk about it when we return to Thinking Logically on 99.3 FM WBVP.
You're listening to Beaver County Radio, coming to you live from the Fried Transportation Studios. Beaver County Radio and Fried Transportation, a winning team. 99.3 FM and WBVP, providing news, sports, and information for 76 years.
It's Joe again from Thinking Logically, here to tell you about one of my favorite clothing items, the MyPillow hoodie. Two things I love the most about this hoodie are how it fits and how it feels. This hoodie is extremely roomy, and its terry cloth material makes it lighter than any other hoodie I own. Use promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings. The MyPillow hoodie. Get yours today. It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Galla with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Galla of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond. It's Joe again from Thinking Logically, here to tell you about one of my favorite clothing items, the MyPillow hoodie. Two things I love the most about this hoodie are how it fits and how it feels. This hoodie is extremely roomy, and its terry cloth material makes it lighter than any other hoodie I own. Use promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings. The MyPillow hoodie. Get yours today.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP, brought to you by Mitchell's Jewelers. Remember, it takes an enormous amount of pressure to make a diamond, so why should you put yourself under any more pressure when buying one? Don't. Go to Mitchell's Jewelers, where the choice is as clear as their diamonds. Mitchell's Jewelers, located at 2454 Mill Street in Aliquippa, PA. That's 2454 Mill Street in Aliquippa, PA. All right, Mark, so we had a global glitch, major global IT outage that grounded flights, hit banks, businesses all around the world, apparently. CrowdStrike. The problem was caused by a, quote, defect found in a single content update for Windows. I think it involves Microsoft. And that's what the cybersecurity company CrowdStrike is going with, I guess. Remember, for those of you that have never heard of CrowdStrike, or maybe the name sounds familiar, CrowdStrike played a role in Hillary's 2016 Russia hoax, election fraud thing, whatever it was. It was the one Hillary used to bleach her servers and computers' hard drive. Mark, is this outage, is this a dry run for Election Day here?
Joe, think about the chain of events that we witnessed. We had the assassination attempt 2 Saturdays ago on the 13th. We had the CrowdStrike outage on the 19th. And then we had Biden just say, I'm not running for president anymore, on the 21st. Joe, could all three of these events be related?
No, it's just one big coincidence, man. There's no way it could be related. Impossible. No way. We're just a bunch of conspiracy theorists on the internet. Well, at this point, I think it's obvious. And the fact that we get no accountability, no answers, nothing. It's just like, shut up. Shut up. It's nothing. It's fine. It makes me sick.
In regards to what you said about voting, I mean, I thought the voting machines from Dominion are connected to the internet, Jez. So what difference is it?
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's right. They're not supposed to be connected to the internet, but apparently this internet outage, I don't know. We'll find out on November 5th, right? Won't we? I don't understand why we can't do all paper. I just don't understand why we can't do all paper. I don't understand the machines, whatever. I just, one day, count them all. It's not that hard. Not that hard.
every state's different, I believe. I don't know. I mean, I know the machines here in PA, or at least here in Allegheny County, you fill out a ballot and then you used to send it through. You scan it through a machine. I remember they used to have the machines. We used to touch your choices on the screen, and it would get tabulated that way. So I don't know how many states use what, but I mean, you need a paper trail. Is what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah, like I said, I don't understand the machines. I don't pretend to. It can't be. I'm not really an expert at anything, let alone that kind of stuff. But again, it just doesn't seem right at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. And then when you think about like all the other countries, Dominion, and there's a few other companies too that were used in that complaint. I think Venezuela was another one. It's just strange, just very strange. CrowdStrike too. Again, 2015-16. Remember the DNC servers being hacked, supposedly hacked? Again, I don't think it was a hack. I think it was a leak, and I think that's why Rich was killed. Yeah. But call me crazy. That could be just a coincidence. Always blame it on a hack, and it's always Russia.
We are 106 days away, Joe, from all this going down.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think they'll try to delay it? Be honest. What do we got? About 4 minutes here? 5 minutes left.
I don't see how they do that. I don't know what event could happen that would make them delay it. I mean, outside of like nuclear war, I don't see what they could seriously say. They'd say, we're going to delay the election. And how would you even do that?
Make people beg for it to be delayed. I don't know how you do that, but I mean, there has to be an event. Keep in mind, we got the Olympics coming up. After that, remember the rumor that China was going to go after Taiwan right after the Olympics in China? Maybe it'll be after these Olympics. I don't know. Things are going to get spicy here sooner or later. We're not exactly conveying a message of strength to our enemies or our allies, for that matter. Visible by Benjamin Netanyahu, who flies all the way here and can't even see the president because he's at a vacation beach home, sick. The vigorous man.
Didn't something similar like that go on with Netanyahu when Obama was in the office? Mm-hmm. Netanyahu came here to visit him, and I think Obama came up with some plans at the last minute. Yeah, and
honestly, Joe Biden hasn't been the nicest person to Israel, I guess you could say. So,
hey, Joe, how about the Trump rally Saturday in Michigan? I don't know if you caught any of that, or Ryan. This arena in Grand Rapids was packed, like both levels, top and bottom. But Trump, he was talking about his relationship with Kim Jong-un, and did you see this? He basically told him to chill. He has enough nuclear weapons, and he said, "Let's go see the Yankees." He said, "Let's go see a Michigan football game." But Trump's next rally is Wednesday in Charlotte, and it's going to be a doozy with Kamala, his opponent now, for the time being.
I can't get over this. How they just over the weekend, Trump was shot in the face, and then all of a sudden, all we're talking about is Kamala's VP. It's amazing to me. These Jedi mind tricks they got going on with us. No one cares. Be honest. Thinking in your head, did you almost forget Trump was shot in the head almost a little over a week ago? It's amazing. It's completely out of the news cycle. Our media is disgusting. Wait, I hope they try to get Kamala across the finish line a little bit. Just wait, because remember all the puff pieces on Obama? They're going to start reporting what Kamala's wearing, how pretty she looks, all this stuff, her sneakers. You're going to want to vomit, but it's not going to last for that long because once a few polls come back, they're going to know. They're going to swap her out, I think. Mark, we got about a minute left. 2 minutes, actually.
Yeah, Joe, great episode again. This is going to be, like I said, this is going to be a intense next 106 days. Be prepared for anything and everything. Have, enough things to get you by in case something were to happen, like, water, paper towels, toilet paper. Have a little stash on hand in case something were to go down. You just never know. And I'm telling you, these people are evil. We're dealing with pure evil. And like you said earlier, they will move mountains to make sure Donald Trump doesn't get back into the White House.
Don't let the media or anyone fool you. Look at it as like a magic show. Once you go to a magic show, you're like shocked. Wow, I almost believe it. Let me just say, when you know how the magic trick works, you can't be fooled again. You'll never be able to unsee it. You'll never be able to unsee it. They can't trick you again because you know how the trick works. So think logically, pay attention to the surroundings, and just don't listen to the mainstream media because all they are going to do is lie and try to trick you. And that's what they've been doing for the past, I don't even know how long. If you think the news is fake, when you think, wait till you find out in a few years how fake history and other things are. Science could go on and on. Ryan, anything before we head out of here?
Great show, guys. Every day I come here to work with you guys, I learn so much because the news just doesn't stop, so it's very interesting. Great show, guys.
All right, Mark, anything?
No, we'll see you guys on Thursday.
All right, we'll be here for at least another 3 weeks until August 8th, giving you the best news coverage you can have because we can't depend on the media. So we depend on small outlets like us. Thanks for tuning in to Thinking Logic on 99.3 FM WBVP. I'll see you guys on Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to